Hello, welcome to the first CoderDojo of the summer. I am Charlotte from Brown Deer Public Library. We are going to do an unplugged activity and an online activity. The unplugged activity is called Computer and Programmer, and the online activity looks at the very basics of how do we tell the computer how to understand us and that we want to move the character around the game. Let's get started. Our unplugged activity is called Computer and Programmer. The first step is to run around and find two-of-a-kind items. So I found bowls, I found dice, and some blocks. So other things, if you don't have a lot of toys and games in the house, might be paper clips. I chose two pens. They don't have to be fully identical. These are just two pens with no caps. I also grabbed just slips of paper. And obviously these books are not identical, but I have two paperback books and two hardcover books. Let's see, shoes tend to come in pairs. And then I have two towels that are the same. So one set of the items will be given to the computer, and the other set of items will be given to the programmer. The programmer, in a place where the computer can't see them, is going to build something and describe what they're building. So they might say, I'm taking the purple block and the long piece of purple paper. I'm putting the purple block on the piece of paper, and then I'm putting a die with number 4 up, and then a die with number 4 up, and then a die with number 4 up again. Oops. And then I'm going to balance the paper clip, the clothespin on top of that. So the computer player is listening to this. So they might say, okay, the long piece of paper, that's this. And they'll hear them say the purple block, that's probably this. But they might put it over here. And if you just say the 3 dies with the 4 side up, the computer might misunderstand and put them in the wrong order of white, white, blue instead of white, blue, white. And then I accidentally said paperclip instead of clothespin, so they might do that. And then I said clothespin, so they might do that. So that's how the computer might create a different construction than the programmer. So this game is to practice being very specific, that these are both wooden blocks, but you'll need to find a way to describe this as either larger or not curved at all, or it's darker. These are both books. One is paperback, one is hardcover. You'll need to talk about the color and the size or what it's made out of. And of course, then the computer player and the programmer player should switch roles and try again. And one of my favorite things is to take a picture of how the constructions look different at the end. It is time for our online activity. Start by going to scratch.mit.edu. You could sign in, or you could just start creating a program. If you're new, there are some very helpful tutorials. So in our unplugged activity, Computer and Programmer, when the programmer said to do something, the computer would then do it. But right now, if I just say, hey, Scratch Cat, move, it doesn't do anything. We need to find a way to be specific and use a language that the computer will understand. So on the left-hand side here, I clicked on Events. So now I'm going to click when space key is pressed, but I don't want space key. I'm going to do when up arrow is pressed. And what do I want to happen when the up arrow is pressed? Well, how about we point in direction, and I'm going to drag this to point up, point in that direction, and move 10 steps. So that's what's going to happen when I'm pressing up arrow. Nothing happens if I press the other arrows. I need to go in and make 3 more of these. I'll need one for going down, going right, going left, go back to motion. All right, now I'm looking at when down arrow is pressed, dragging this to point down. When right arrow is pressed, this is already the correct direction it's pointing. When left arrow is pressed, I point to the left. And move. Okay, now the very important step, testing it out. All right, I can move my Scratch Cat. When I, the human, the programmer, press the keys, the computer now understands what I want it to do. Okay. I wonder what else you could do with Scratch. I will see you next month for the next CoderDojo. Goodbye!